Hi, my name is Singh, and my senior project was the effects on foreign substances on the spin rates of baseball pitches. So, in the world of baseball, cheating has been very prevalent very recently. Pitchers are using illegal adhesive substances to try to gain more grip on the ball, and as a result, to get a more spin rate on their pitches. Spin rate is the amount of rotations per minute the ball spins while in its flight as it is released from the pitcher's hand. What spin rate does in a pitch is create movement. So the higher the pitch, the more movement, and as a result, the batter will be more confused. The pitch that I wanted to test in this experiment is a four-seam fastball, since it is the most commonly used for cheating. That pitch is a pure backspin ball. So backspin means that the ball will rise. So more spin rate, more rise in the ball. What I wanted to do is quantify the difference in spin rates between the different treatments or treatments such as the different illegal substances. I decided to use the more common ones such as pine tar and spider tack. I wanted to determine with confidence the intervals of percent increase that would be considered cheating for each substance. So I'd create intervals of percent increases, and if a pitcher's progression from not cheating to cheating fit one of these intervals for different substances, I could conclude that they use those substances. I wanted to compare these intervals and data with the MLB and see if I can make the same conclusions with MLB players. So I had I selected three pitchers from Olathe North baseball team, and I had them pitch 30 pitches for each treatment. My treatments were control, so no illegal substance at all, pine tar, and spider tack. So I had a total of 270 pitches. In order to control my data, however, I had them fit some criteria. First of all, the pitch has to land in the middle ninth of the ninth strike zone. This just makes it easier to compare different pitches. It also has to reach at least a velocity of 80 miles an hour, so it's comparable to MLB data. I also wanted them to have the consistent launch angle or slot angle. This means where the ball is thrown from, what angle, and that has to be within 3 degrees of the mean that they had. And lastly, pitch has to be a four-seam fastball. If they met those criteria, it was a valid data point, and I used it towards my data. So, as I had all the pitchers pitch, as you can see in the results and analysis, I recorded the mean for each of the 30 pitches for each control for each pitcher. I then increased pine tar and spider tack to a percent increase from the control, and that can be seen in the second graph in the results and analysis. I then did the standard deviation for each one of the control treatments and pitchers, and then I wanted to analyze this data. So I created confidence intervals for pine tar and spider tack. So I took the percent increases for pine tar and spider tack and created a 95% confidence interval for those different substances compared to the control. And that data is presented there. I also graphed the mean for each one of the treatments from each one of the pitchers. So I had control, pine tar, and spider tack. And I saw that all three pitchers had an upward movement or slope as they went through the different adhesives. However, pitcher 3 didn't quite follow that same pattern. I feel like this is a kind of a little hole in my data, as he was a different style of pitcher. And I wanted, in order to make a more informed conclusion, I should have had more variety in the different types of pitchers that I had. But what I could conclude from my experiment is that the spider tack had the highest increase in spin rate by far, followed by pine tar, and then just the control itself. I wanted to compare my data to the MLB. So I have my confidence interval for spider tack, for example, is 15.3% to 29.1%. So there's two pitchers, major pitchers at least, that I found that fell into that category from 2015 to 2020. So I could say with confidence that they use pine tar or spider tack, my bad. And those pitchers were Trevor Bauer and Garrett Cole. a pitcher that fell into my pine tar 95% confidence interval of 7.7% to 11.4% was Carlos Carrasco. So I could say with 95% confidence that he used pine tar. And there was a little bit of an area in between pine tar and spider tack, so I can say pitchers that fell into that area, such as Clayton Kershaw, were definitely cheating, yet they were not using spider tack or pine tar, maybe some other material or a mix of two materials. Um, so using this data that I have, I hope that the MLB can identify what pitchers are using what substances and identify if they're even cheating by just looking at the raw data. Thank you.